Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Clancy Baseball Field on the Babe Ruth Baseball Softball Complex. And then there were four teams left in this 15-year-old Babe Ruth State Championship Tournament. This is the semifinals. The winner of this, I'm not sure who's playing in the other semifinal, but the winner of this will move on to the final, which I think is in Quincy. This being Thursday, will be at Quincy on Saturday. This is Maplewood, coming all the way from Fall River. That's a trip and a half. Two pitches up and away by Chris Marks, who's on the mound for Lynn. He's throwing to the catcher, Kyle Cummings. Jaden Espinal, the shortstop for Maplewood, is the hitter. That one's in for a strike. Lynn is 5-0. Maplewood 4-1. Hit foul, and the count evens at 2. A beautiful night, big puffy white clouds, blue sky, sunny. We're up high, so there's a little bit of a breeze. Makes it comfortable. Little chin music there. The count goes full, 3-2. And it's ball 4. So the first hitter draws a walk. Lynn, for the first time, had 3 home games, 13, 14, and 15. 13's lost, getting beat decisively. The 14's kind of gave it away. They were leading going into the 6th inning. They gave up 6 runs in the last 2 innings. In the last 2 innings, there were 5 walks and they hit batsman. 5 walks scored, hit batsman, knocked in a run with the bases loaded, and they wound up losing 8-5. That was their second loss, and it was their second tough loss. They throw it down, in with a stolen base is Espinal. He got a good jump. So Maplewood has the first runner in scoring position. I forgot to mention is Alex Cavallo. He's the catcher for Maplewood. Hit foul out of play. Maplewood has brought a couple of fans. I spoke to a couple of them on the way down. I think they might have been coach's family. Lynn's got a few over on the third base side. Runner takes off, steals third. The ball gets thrown to left field. He's going to score. So Sandoval, Espinal, by himself, gives Maplewood the early lead. 1 batter up, 1 batter home. The walk, stole second, stole third. When they threw it away, he comes home. And just like that, it's 1-0 Maplewood. Hit foul. All right, Outwell, Rich Avery, coaching the Lynn team. Leon's been outstanding coaching Lynn for a while. Swing and a miss, he chased that pitch. Well, the first out is a swinging strikeout. Bring up Aiden Travers. Aiden Travers is the pitcher, so it's pitcher against pitcher. I don't know if he throws lefty, but he bats lefty. Down and in for a ball. Hit in the center field for a base hit. So the second base runner for Maplewood is the first hit of the game by the pitcher, Travers.
Now batting for Maplewood, number 9, Cam Rago.
Cam Rago, the first baseman, is the hitter. High and tight for a ball. Hit the first base. Nice hustle by the pitcher, Marks, to take the throw
Now batting
from Rich Avery.
number 20, Owen Bonas.
Not a sacrifice, but it works the same. It moves the runner over. Avery, the first baseman, gets the assist. The pitcher gets the put out. Two-way for Owen Moniz, the third baseman. High for a ball. Drifting back deep over the shoulder, making a catch in left field is Alex Lara. Owen Moniz hit that a ton. It looked like an easy play, and all of a sudden he had to go back and drift back and lean over his shoulder. He takes extra bases and RBI away from Moniz and another run away from Maplewood with a nice play. But Maplewood jumps on top. They got a run with a hit. The walk, as it usually does, causes problems.
Even the save time route was as bad as the don't save time route. It was like, oh, more red lines.
So Lynn will try to get it back. Seth Sullivan, the center fielder, will lead off. Batting second is the extra hitter, Jared Payon. The catcher, Kyle Cummings, will hit third. Batting cleanup in the fourth spot, playing third, is Matt Lewis. The pitcher, Chris Marsh, will hit number 5. Batting sixth and playing first base, Rich Avery. Christian Figueroa, the shortstop, will hit number 7. Hitting eighth and playing left field, Alex Lara. The right fielder, Gilly Galva, will hit number 9.
Now pitching for
And playing second base and batting 10th is Jaden Driscoll. So I mentioned that the pitcher batted left. I didn't know if he threw left, so he's completely lefty. Throws lefty, bats lefty. Lynn has not been behind many times in his 15-year-old bracket.
Now batting for Lynn, the center fielder, number 9, Seth Sullivan.
Well, Seth Sullivan will lead off as Lynn has a run to make up. Al was out talking to the plate umpire about something. And now they're going to call timeout. I don't know if they saw something on the... I'm not sure why they're taking the baseball out. I don't know what Coach Elwell saw, but Plate umpire went out and exchanged baseballs with the pitcher, Travers. So the center fielder, Sullivan, will lead it off. Low for a ball. Hayden Travers looks like he can bring it. That had a little bit of mustard on it. Down and in, 2-0. Hits it foul, bounces off the fence, rolls to the first baseman. Count goes 2-1. Down and away, it's 3-1. Well, Sullivan will take a good look at this pitch. Oh, as it was for Maplewood, so shall it be for Lynn. Maplewood drew a walk. He come around on 2 stolen bases and an error to get the run. Now Sullivan leads off with a walk. Let's see if they try to get him to second base with a stolen base as we get a convention out on the mound. Not for very long, very quickly, but settle Travers down. Jared Payon, the extra hitter, is the hitter. And Sullivan gets a pretty good lead. Swing and a miss. A little bit different for Lynn now getting off the bat because a left-handed pitcher. He has a decent lead at first base. And they throw over and he dives back. On the inside corner, good pitch. Good lead at first base. Chases a high pitch for strike 3.
Now batting for Lynn, the catcher, number 2.
One away. Kyle Cummings, the catcher, is the hitter. In for a strike. Sullivan was kind of playing games with Travers. He was bouncing back and forth just with the body, not taking steps. He had a good sized lead, but he was shaking like, I'm going, I'm not going. Missing inside for a ball. Hit foul. Out of play. Sung with a good sized lead. He got a big jump. The ball's hit foul. He would have stolen second easy. He got a huge jump. But he has to come all the way back. Hit in the center field for a base hit. Cummings gets the first hit for Lynn. Lynn has a tying run at second. First and second, one out
Batting for Lynn.
for Matt Lewis.
Third baseman, number 11, Matt Lewis.
Oh, 2 on, 1 out. Low for a ball. That noise you hear, that's not the crowd, that's the Lynn bench. There isn't that big a crowd here. In for a strike. Good pitch at the knees. Maplewood again, a long trip. They had to come from Fall River. They said it took an hour and 45 minutes as they had to come through Boston, which slowed them down quite a bit. Hit in the air to center field, drifting over to right center, making the play. Caden Martins. Lewis hit it well. Martins tracked it down for the second out. So they've left it up to the pitcher. Chris Marks can help himself here.
Chris Marks.
He'd like to match the hit that the opposing pitcher Aiden Travers got because he could tie the game up. Up and away for a ball. Hit by the third baseman into left field. It gets by the left fielder. 2 runs are going to score. 2 out Lightning for Lynn. Cummings scores all the way from first. So Marks helps himself. A line shot by right down the left field line. And Lynn says, well, we'll see you one and we'll raise you one. Rich Avery, the first baseman. Lefty against lefty here. Low for a ball. So a big 2-out hit by Marks. Swing and a miss, 1-1. So on both sides, a walk hurts. The walk scored the run for Maplewood. The walk scores one of the 2 runs for Lynn. Chase, the pitcher, was down in the dirt. I think they got a piece of the catcher. He's trying to almost kneeling down, trying to wish it away. He's up. Tough job. You got all the equipment, but not easy back there. Foul tips, pitches in the dirt. Missed outside. That was, didn't miss by much. Tough pitch to take. Started to pull the trigger and held up. It was high. So the count goes full. Swing and a miss for strike 3. He comes back and gets him. He gets 2 big strikeouts in the inning. But damage done by Lynn. The big 2-out double. The pitcher helps himself.
Score is Lynn 2,
Chris Marks, following a walk and a base hit, gets a double, knocks in 2. So Maplewood took a quick 1-0 lead on 2 stolen bases, and after a walk and an errant throw, Espinal ran around the bases to give him a 1-0 lead, and now Marks' 2-run double compounds that and doubles it for Lynn, as Lynn leads it 2-1 at the end of 1. Six, 7, and 8 for Maplewood as we start the second inning.
Now batting for Maplewood, number 24, Peyton Travis.
The second baseman, Peyton Travis, will lead it off. Marks, who helps himself, will start his second inning. Hit to first, Avery. They did the same thing in the first inning. Now they combine again. Play goes 3-1 again. That's 2 putouts for the pitcher Marks, 2 assists for Avery.
Ian Morales Campbell.
1 up, 1 down, 1 pitch. Ian Morales Campbell in for a strike. Looks like he tried to take something off. He threw it down and away. High and tight for a ball. We mentioned again, this is the 15-year-old bracket. There were 3, 13, 14, 15. This is the semifinal of the state tournament. Drops in for a strike. And all of a sudden, that sun is gone. There's a few black clouds. And there's a breeze picking up. It feels nice. It's comfortable. Reaches for it. Hits it to third. Matt Lewis. He's played very well defensively for Lynn. He makes another play. He's got that rocket arm. Took his time, made a good accurate throw over to Avery.
7, Jacob Furtado.
2 away for Jacob Furtado, the right fielder. But the breeze is picked up, and like I said, it's comfortable. Gets hit to the coaching staff. I think that's, I don't know if that's Avery or Elwell. They're both sitting outside. I think that was Avery making the play. Again, looked like he tried to take something off, maybe with a curveball, and bounced it down the way. It bounced all the way to the Lynn dugout. 2 up, 2 down in the second. Missing inside for a ball. Missing again inside. That's outside. So the 2-out walk puts Furtado at first base and brings up Caden Martins, the center fielder.
Now batting for Maplewood, number 8, Hayden Martins.
Maplewood made this trip down here with only 10 players. And again, if you're watching this Babe Ruth for the first time, there's not a hitter There's an extra hitter. You can bat 10. You don't have to. You can bat 9. Way up in the air. So the extra hitter in Babe Ruth is actually an extra hitter. Tries to bunt, pushes it to third. They're not going to get him. He beat it for a base hit. Once it got by the pitcher, it was a tough play for Lewis. Perfect bunt by Martins. Just pushed it. The pitcher Marks couldn't get to it. Lewis had a long run to get to it, made a good effort, made the throw, but Martins beat it easily. So after 2 quick outs, a dreaded walk and a hit puts runners at first and second for Maplewood. And it'll be the number 10 hitter, Aiden Gray, and he's the extra hitter. So Maplewood scored. Lynn doubled it, getting 2. Maplewood trying to answer back. It goes to the backstop, and they're going to be a lot closer. So it looked like a pretty good inning with 2 up, 2 down. All of a sudden, a walk, a hit, and a wild pitch put runners at second and third. Hit foul. Hit in the air to right field. Backing up. Gallo was able to back up and make the play. Gray hit it well. So Maplewood threatens. But they're down in the second inning. Lynn will have 7, 8, and 9 coming up. I won't get back up there. See Jackson on the front side. I'm old. Wait until it's happening. Christian Figueroa, Alex Lara, Gilly Galva. Travers will start his second inning of work. We mentioned again the 15-year-old semifinal Babe Ruth State Tournament. They had the North and the South pairing off. The North had a little tournament of their own, South a tournament of their own. Then they have flip-flop back and forth now, playing each other depending on record. And tiebreakers, what they had to do. Lynn beat Taunton in the quarterfinals. Now they're looking to beat Maplewood. I didn't ask who Maplewood beat. I apologize for that, who they beat in their quarterfinal round. Down and in for a ball. Figueroa was the shortstop for Lynn, leading off here in the second inning. I believe the winner goes to the state final in Quincy, I believe. Missing inside. And I believe the coach told me that they beat Lynn last year. I don't know if he meant the 14's won. Hit deep. What a great play by the left fielder. Figueroa hit that a ton. And Ian Morales Campbell went on his horse, went back deep, reached over his shoulder, and took probably a triple. Outstanding defense by Ian Morales Campbell. That was a shot. Hit foul. Hit the second, knocked down, nice play. Solid shot by Alex Lara. Second baseman Travis did a nice job knocking it down and staying with it. 2 up, 2 down. Galva, the right fielder, was the hitter. Fishing wide for a ball. In for a strike. Down and in for a ball. Up and away for a ball. Chased it a little bit low, fouled it back. We have our first deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. In inning number 2. With Lynn leading 2-1, we got deuces all over the place. Foul tip, in and out of the catcher's glove. Good effort by Cavallo. The catcher just popped out of his glove. So we'll do it again at 2-2. Hit foul. Down the left field line, out of play. And he walked him. So it's almost like a mirror image. They walked the first batter. Lynn did. He came around to score. Maplewood walked the first batter. He came around to score, but they got another one with a 2-out double. The second inning, Lynn got the first 2 outs. They walked the next batter. Maplewood gets the first 2 outs. They walk the next batter. It's almost like they're in sync. Jaden Driscoll, the second baseman, is the hitter. Short lead for Galva. Low for a ball. So we're that close to getting the 1-2-3 inning. The pop-up just popped out of Cavallo's glove, that foul tip. He almost got his team out of the inning. High for a ball. It's 2-0. In for a strike. Top of the order, Sullivan on deck. The runner takes off. Hit foul. He has to come back. Solid shot hit the left field for a base hit. That's exactly what happened in the top of the inning. 2 outs, a walk and a base hit. How well pitched moved him up to second and third, then they're going to fly to right to get out of the inning. So it's like mirror image with these two teams so far. The difference, Maplewood has 1 hit, Lynn has 2, and the big hit was the 2-run double by the pitcher Marks. So 2 outs, 2 on. As the number 10 hitter, Driscoll gets a base hit. Hit foul. To show you the mirror image, if Driscoll didn't get a base hit, if Driscoll was out, it would have been both teams batting 10 in the first 2 innings. It would have been the top of the order for both teams leading off the third. That's how close it's been. High and tight for a ball. Travers doesn't waste much time when he goes to the belt. The runners take off. They were looking for an errant throw. Galvin steals third. Driscoll goes to second. Mirror image. Hit, walk. Wasn't a wild pitch, but now they're both at second and third. It's eerie how this game is so close on both sides. Up and away for a ball. Two out Lightning again. Out at second base. Sullivan gets the big hit, gets 2 RBI. So again, the walk hurts. Sullivan hesitated going home. Then when he saw the throw go to the plate, he tried to score. He's out. But Lynn gets 2 more, and it's 4-1 Lynn at the end of 2. We're back with you. We had a little blitz, but we're back now. Espinal, who walked, stole second, stole third, and scored when they threw the ball away into left field. He just led off the third. Ground ball shot. The throw was off the mark at first, and he reached. Alex Cavallo, the catcher, struck out swinging. So Maplewood has a runner at first with nobody out. Lynn leading it 4-1. Hit foul. Maplewood won their bracket, and then he knocked off Braintree in the quarterfinals to get here to the semifinals. The runner takes off, and they don't even bother throwing it. Pitcher was inside. He easily steals second base. Got a great jump. That's his third stolen base. Let's see if he tries to steal third again, because he stole third. They threw the ball away. Solid shot right on the nose and hit it right to the left fielder. Cavalli, you can't hit the ball much better than that. And he hit it right at Lara. Aiden Travers, the pitcher, singled his one trip. In for a strike. We got warm-up action behind me. I'm watching Ian Morales Campbell, the left fielder, warming up. Pitching up for a ball. Mark steps off, trying to keep Espinal close. He knows he stole second. He knows he stole second and third last time. Hit on the ground to first base. Avery makes the play. As Espinal moves over to third. We're 2 away for Cam Rigo. And we got a trip coming out to the mound. Coach Elwell. Everybody milling around on the pitcher's mound.
Now batting for Maplewood, number 9, Cam Rego.
Then a few years ago went all the way to the World Tournament, Nationals. Down the way for a ball. Cam Rigo, the first baseman, bounced out. First baseman to the pitcher covering. He hits it. Avery bobbles it but stays with it. And he beats Rego to the bag. So back-to-back plays unassisted at first base by Avery. Maplewood threatens. They get a run to the third. They leave him there. We'll move into the bottom of the third with Lynn holding on to that 4-1 lead. And it will be 2, 3, and 4. And Maplewood's not going out in the field. I don't know what the coach is talking to the plate umpire about something. I'm not sure what this is all about. Now Maplewood takes the field. I'm not sure what he could be questioning. So what we're going to have is we're going to have Travers, I believe the pitcher, going on to left field. And Campbell, who made that great play in left field, is coming in to pitch. So the pitcher and the left fielder change places. So Travers goes 2 innings, gives up 4 runs that were earned, 4 hits, struck out 2, walked 2, and both of the walks scored.
Now pitching for Maplewood, number
And he gave up two big 2-out hits. And both the 2-out hits, first one by the pitcher, Chris Marks. Second one by Seth Sullivan. Both 2-out hits knocked in 2 runs. And each time the inning was extended with the walk. So it will be Jared Payon, Cal Cummings, Matt Lewis. 2, 3, and 4 for Lynn in the bottom of the third. Lynn with a 4-1 edge. And 2 in the first, 2 in the second. After Maplewood scored the first run to take the lead. So after looking at left-hander for 2 innings, now Lynn will face a right-hander. Payon struck out swinging his 1 trip.
Now batting for Lynn, the extra hitter, number 13, Jared Payon.
Hit foul. Hit in the air, it's going to go out of play. And that sun starts to come out, and that breeze that was blowing by, all of a sudden it stopped. Took a good look at that pitch that was low. Strike 3 called. Started to pull the trigger, held up, and was in anyway.
Now batting for Lynn, the catcher, number 2, Kyle.
First strikeout for Campbell. How Cummings got a base hit and scored the second run. In for a strike. He came all the way around from first on Chris Marks' double in the first inning. Hit deep to left field. Off the left fielder's glove, all the way down in the corner. Cummings gets his second hit, a stand-up double. He hit that a long way. Good effort by Travers, former pitcher who's now the left fielder. Almost made a great play.
Third baseman, number 11, Matt Lewis.
Matt Lewis flied to center field his 1 trip. High and tight for a ball.
No, that's what I'm saying. If he took off right away, he had it.
Low for a ball. Campbell can bring it. He gets it up there. He just rears back and says, I'll throw it, see if you can hit it. He falls behind Lewis. On the corner for a strike. That's ball 4. So here's the same scenario. Chris Marks was up in the first inning with 2 outs. Runs at first and second. He got a double, knocked into 2 runs. Now he's up here in the 3rd inning with 1st and 2nd, but with 1 out. And he can help himself again. Hit back to the pitcher for 1. They almost turned 2. The throw was in the dirt. Good effort by the first baseman, Rigo. He tried to scoop it. They just missed.
Now batting for Lynn. First baseman, 14, Richie Avery.
So 2 outs, 1st and 3rd. They came that close to showing the double play. Rigo did a nice job to block that throw in the dirt. If it gets by, Cummings probably would have scored from 3rd. Now they got the runner hooked up between out at 3rd. They played it very well. Nice job by the shortstop. He took 2 steps towards the runner at first. They tried to get hooked up, getting a run down and steal a run. And the shortstop did a great job. He waited until the runner at 3rd committed himself, threw the ball to 3rd, and gets Cummings out. The play goes 6-5 for the 3rd out. That's a very nice play by the shortstop, Espinal. And for the 1st inning, Lynn doesn't score. They're out in the 3rd inning, but at the end of 3, they lead it 4-1 over Maplewood. We'll start the 4th inning, 5, 6, and 7 for Maplewood. Owen Moniz, the 3rd baseman, hit a shot and a half to left field. Alex Lara made a great defensive play and picked it, took extra bases away. And that was big because there was a runner at 2nd base. That was the 3rd out. If that's a base hit, the run scores, extends the inning. And Maplewood would have grabbed a 2-0 lead in the 1st inning. And now Moniz gets hit with the pitch. Looked like it hit him right on the butt.
Now batting for Maplewood, number 24, Peyton Travis.
Peyton Travis, the 2nd baseman. He was one of 2 that bounced out first baseman to pitcher covering. In for a strike. High for a ball. Hit to the 2nd baseman. They turned the double play. It looked like a base hit. Driscoll took the base hit away. It was going into center field. Driscoll went to his right, picked it, and then fired to first for the double play. So Driscoll with the nice defensive play. Then he gets it to Avery for the double play. The hit batsman goes by the boards. And there's 2 away with nobody on for former left fielder, now pitcher, Ian Morales Campbell. A little soft line drive, looked like it was going to go into center field. Driscoll went back, picked it, and made a good strong throw to Avery at first to double the runner off. The runner was going, thinking it was a hit. And I think everybody thought it was a hit. Driscoll took it away. high for a ball. That one bounced in, bounced off Cummings. They hit him again.
Now batting for Maplewood, number 7.
So 2 hit batsmen. The first one was doubled off. Jacob Furtado. The right fielder drew a walk. Solid shot in the center field for a base hit. This is almost a repeat of the second inning. He got 2 outs, a walk and a hit. This is 2 outs with a double. How big is that double play now? With a hit batsman and a hit to follow. So 2 outs, 2 on, and it brings out a trip out again to the mound. Get those black clouds again. We had blue skies and white clouds, and they've moved along, and they're still there way out beyond the right field fence, but right over the field is a big black cloud. The weather has not been great. We were here 2 nights ago, and it was raining off and on. The other night we had to get 2 games in, 14's and 15's. And it took forever. We didn't get out of here till 11:15. Long games. Down the way for a ball. Down and in for a ball. So again, a hit batsman, a line drive turned into a double play, 2 quick outs, but then a hit batsman, a hit, extends the inning. And now he falls behind Camden Martins, who got a base hit his first time up. Missing again. And that's ball 4. So don't look now, but the bases are loaded, and those are the tying runs. Aiden Gray hit it well, but Galva, the right fielder, tracked it down. Elwell coming out, and I think that means a change on the mound. So we'll see what happens with the change when we come back. Josh Doney will be the new pitcher. He got the win the other night against Taunton. He went the first 4. Hit in the air. Third baseman makes the play. So the pop-up gets him out of the inning. They load the bases. Tony comes in and gets the out. So 2 hit batsmen, a hit and a walk. They don't score. The double play generated by Jaden Driscoll. And then Doney comes in and gets the pop-up. We're halfway through the ball game. Lynn holding on to that 4-1 lead. And it'll be 6, 7, and 8 for Lynn in the bottom of the fourth.
Still pitching for Maplewood. Number 1, Ian Morales Campbell.
Ian Morales Campbell will start his second inning of work. Funny day. Way out right center and center field looks like blue skies, white clouds. Way over beyond the field, over behind home plate, off to the right is blue skies and white clouds. And right over the field is a big black cloud. I know they are starting to have the concerts at Red Rock. And it was on TV that they canceled tonight because of the threat of rain. So we're hoping that it holds off when we get this in.
First baseman, number 14, Richie Avery.
Rich Avery has been busy at first base defensively. He got a couple of assists and a putout in the first 2 innings. Got 2 putouts back-to-back in the 3rd inning. Was the back end of that double play. So he's been very busy with putouts and assists at first base. He struck out swinging his 1 trip. Campbell just steps back and lets it fly. Hit right over our heads. Pulled it foul. And thank goodness it was high enough to get over our heads. Bounces. Hit. What a play by the 3rd baseman. Just a little soft pop-up.
Now batting for
Moniz, the 3rd baseman.
number 6,
Owen Moniz.
Figueroa.
He was off the line for a left-hand hitter. He had to go a couple of steps almost right at the 3rd base bag into foul territory and dove and made a great play. It was a foul ball. It wouldn't have been a hit. But it's a great play to go and dive and make that play and get the out. So Maplewood, that Campbell on the mound made a great play in left field before. That took extra bases away from Lara. And now Moniz makes a great play at 3rd base. Wide for a ball. That one bounced in the home plate. This is Christian Figueroa He was the one that hit the ball to left field and was out. Bobbled at third. Can't make the play. Figueroa will reach on the error. One out, one on for Lynn. And we're going to get a runner, I think, at first base for Figueroa.
Pitch running for Lynn, number 12, Nick Marks.
Nick Marks,
Now batting
the other half of the Marks family.
number 1, Alex Lara.
Lara is the hitter. Marks takes off. He got a great pitch to run on. The ball popped out of the catcher's glove. They had no chance at all. He steals second base. Swing and a miss. Lara hit it well, but hit it right at the second baseman who threw him out. Hit to third. Safe at first. The throw took the first baseman off the bag. I think he took a quick look to see if there was no way he could have a play and a runner going to third because he was the third baseman. There was nobody there.
Now batting for Lynn, the right fielder.
Rigo saved that from going over his head that would have scored a run. But at second and third, back-to-back errors. First and third. The runner took off. They threw the ball at third. They almost got the runner at third. So now it's second and third with one out. Galva drew a walk and scored a run in the second inning. Did a little soft shoe dance to get out of the way of that one. High for a ball. The one out was that great play by the third baseman. Moni's diving to pick off the dirt to pop up by Avery, starting the inning. In for a strike. He can bring it, but I don't see him. Maybe if he changed speeds or if he had a curveball, if you just throw the ball hard like that, eventually they're going to make contact. Swing and a miss. Strike three called on the outside corner. Good pitch. Two away. Caden Driscoll got a big hit with 2 outs that extended the inning, followed by a big 2-out hit by Sullivan. All 4 runs for Lynn have come on 2-out base hits. Chris Marks, the pitcher, got a 2-out double in the first. Sullivan got a 2-out single in the second, both knocking in 2 runs. And that was, in the second inning, was with 2 outs, a walk to Galva and the base hit by Sullivan extended the inning for Sullivan.
Now batting for Lynn.
The walk and the hit, they stole second and third and then scored on the base hit. In for a strike. Maplewood and Campbell on the mound trying to get out of the inning without giving up anything. They had second and third and one out. Now it's second and third with 2 outs. 2 quick strikes on Driscoll. Driscoll's made that nice double play, so he's helped Lynn out defensively and offensively. Hit foul. Looked like he tried to throw a changeup that time. Nice play by the fan. Great play by the fan. One-handed catch going away. I was worried that was going to come in my lap. And I just felt a couple of drops of rain. Up and away for a ball. High for a ball. Nice play by the left fielder, the former pitcher Travers. Over the shoulder, takes a hit. 2 RBI, 2 runs away from Lynn, 2 RBI away from Driscoll.
Good job, Lefty. Good job out there, Lefty.
So Lynn threatens again. Second and third. 1 out. They don't score a strikeout. The 2 errors don't hurt. We finished 4. 4-1. Lynn over Maplewood.
You are a legend in this city, buddy. I was telling my family, I said, what's my legacy going to be? The guy who lost his finger playing for St. Mary's up on the fence. Is that a legacy? You're the man, John.
Wow, how's that? Espinal got a base hit. I don't know whether he thought it was caught, it was bobbled. He was on first base, he thought it was out. He started to walk to the dugout, they threw to first and Avery tagged him out. So there's 1 away. Very quickly, Doney starts his second inning. Actually started his first inning, he came into relief. Faced 1 batter in the 4th. Espinal would have been on for the 3rd time. I don't know if he thought the line drive was caught. He got off the bag. He was walking to the dugout. Avery yelled for the ball. They threw it over, and Avery tagged him out. That's why a long time ago I stopped saying I've seen it all. Hit in the air, it's going out of play. Gets the strikeout. 2 up, 2 down in the 5th. Aiden Travers, the pitcher, shingled, bounced to first base. He made that very nice play. Out in left field, the top of the, or the bottom of the 4th. This is the top of the 5th. Taking extra bases away from Driscoll and 2 runs away from Lynn. 2 RBI away from Driscoll. Low for a ball. Swing and a miss. So it was Maplewood that came with the lefty side of the game on the mound. Now it's Lynn coming in relief. Doney, the lefty, coming in relief. Maplewood switched to the righty. Hit foul past third base. Travers going the other way with that one. Again, a tough trip for Maplewood. Coming all the way from Fall River. First 1-2-3 inning of the game goes to Josh Doney as he gets 2 strikeouts. That's only the 3rd strikeout for Lynn pitching. They got a strikeout in the 1st inning. And since then, it's been everywhere. Lynn is threatened. They try to put the game away a few times. After getting 2 in each of the first 2 innings, they had 1st and 3rd. Couldn't score. The runner at 3rd was cut down as they tried to steal a run with the runner at first base game in a rundown, or trying to get in a rundown. They picked the runner at 3rd. And then in the 4th, 2 errors gave them 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. And Driscoll tried to add to that 4-1 lead with a rocket to left field, but Travers, the left fielder, made a great over-the-shoulder catch, taking 2 runs away, 2 RBI away, and extra bases away from Driscoll and Lynn. So it stays 4-1.
Still pitching for Maplewood. Number 1,
Maplewood got their run. First hitter came around to score. Espinal drew a walk, stole 2nd. When he stole 3rd, they threw it into left field. He scored, put Maplewood up 1-0. They've been kept off the board since, although they've tried. They got a walk and a hit after 2 outs in the 2nd. They had a runner reach 3rd in the 3rd. They had a hit batsman, a hit and a walk after 2 outs. And that was the double play. That double play was huge because right after the double play, a hit batsman, a hit and a walk loaded the bases. Doney came on and got the pop up to 3rd base and got him out of the inning. And then Doney got a 1-2-3 inning in the 5th.
Sullivan.
Seth Sullivan has walked, singled, and knocked in 2. He's one of the 2 big 2-out hits that Lynn has got, knocking in their 4 runs. Hit foul quickly, it's 0-2. They might have to put the lights on here pretty quick. Down the way for a ball. Solid shots at 3rd base. Nice play. Holmes makes another big-time play. Went a couple of steps to his left, picked it. Good throw over the first baseman, Rago.
Now batting for
They get Sullivan for the first time.
Number 4, Josh Doney.
1 up, 1 down. Jared Payon struck out twice. Once swinging and once called. And this is not Payon, this is Doney. So they put Josh Doney in. Marks, I guess, has become the extra hitter. And there's Mooners again. Nice job by the first baseman. They threw the ball wide. First baseman Rigo went over into foul territory, got it, and tagged Doney out. So I guess they left Marks in as the extra hitter. And the extra hitter, Payon, was replaced by Doney, the pitcher. Cummings swinging the bat. He's got his third hit, 2 singles and a double.
Now batting for Lynn. Third baseman, number 11, Matt Lewis.
He was the runner at third base that got, when they try to steal a run, with sending the runner at first, the pitcher still had the ball. They hooked the runner up, and then they nailed Cummings trying to get back to third base. High for a ball. Good job by the catcher, Cavallo. That was ticketed for the backstop. Hit in the left field for a base hit. Hustling to third and hustling into second. So Lewis gets a base hit. On the throw to third, he goes to second. So once again, second and third, Lynn threatening again. They've been trying to put this one away. They lead it 4-1, but they've had chances to add to it. Chris Marks, who's now the extra hitter, he was the pitcher. He got the first big 2-out hit. Hit to short. Nice play by Espinal. So Lynn threatens again. Runners in scoring position. They can't put them away.
5 scores, Lynn 4, Maplewood 1.
2 hits in the inning, but they came with 2 outs after Moniz made 2 nice plays at third base. And now Espinal finishes it with a nice play at shortstop. We've completed 5. It's still 4-1 Lynn over Maplewood in this 15-year-old Babe Ruth State Championship semifinal game. Four, 5, and 6 for Maplewood as we start the top of the 6th inning. Doney will start his second inning of work. He came in and got a big out in the 4th. With the bases loaded. He retired all 3 he faced in the 5th. And now he's facing Cam Rigo, the first baseman, who bounced to the first baseman twice. The first time it was a ground ball. Avery went to the pitcher at the time Marks for the out. And the second time, Avery made the play himself. Rich has been very busy at first base. Low for a ball. Avery's made 7 plays in 5 innings. Hit to short. Nice stretch by Avery. They just got Rigo at first. And the rain starts to come down.
Now batting for Maplewood,
Owen Moniz. Fly to the left. Lara took extra bases away from him. He got hit by a pitch. And he was part of that double play. The pop-up, half line drive to second base, Driscoll. They doubled him off. He's made a few nice plays at third base. Line shot right to the second baseman, Driscoll. He hit it a ton, but didn't get lucky.
Now batting for Maplewood, number 24, Peyton Travis.
Peyton Travers, the second baseman, will be the hitter. As we've been holding off the rain, and all of a sudden the rain starts to come. High for a ball. You look out to center field, bright sky, and it's moving this way, but it's going to take a while. Hit into left field for a base hit. Ian Morales Campbell, the pitcher,
Batting for Maplewood, number 1, Ian
is the hitter.
Campbell.
He has bounced to third, got hit by a pitch. Throw over. That hit broke up Doney. Doney had retired 6 in a row coming in relief. High for a ball. Maurice gets back at first. Tony, we mentioned last game, he pitched. He's on the St. Mary's staff. He's won some games for St. Mary's this year. He started a couple of games, came in relief. In for a strike. Strike 3 called. Tony getting it done.
Now pitching for Maplewood, number 45, Jaden Espinal.
For Lynn in the bottom of the sixth, it'll be Rich Avery, Christian Figueroa, Alex Lara. Looks like the second baseman has moved over to play shortstop because Espinal, the shortstop, is now the pitcher. I believe Campbell, who was the pitcher going out, is now the second baseman. So Maplewood's season is down to their last 3 outs as the lights come on here at the Clancy Field. And this will be the last game we do probably until football because there's nothing else going on. But what a tremendous job these Babe Ruth people do. You look at this field, it's in perfect condition. They put a lot of time, effort, and hours down here. Jeff Rupp, the president, Rich Avery, Dave Raymond is down here cutting the grass, doing maintenance on the field. They got a lot of people helping them. The coaches, a lot of parents. They do a tremendous job keeping these kids busy during the summer, and nobody ever knows about it. Hit in the center field for a base hit. That was Shane Newhall, pitch hitting for Avery. With the base hit. Christian Figueroa has had a hit taken away with a great play in left field by Campbell. Last time up he reached on an error. Hit in the air, right at the left fielder. Alex Lara bounced out second to first, reached on an error. And we're going to get a pinch runner at first base.
Pitch running for Lynn, number 10, Levy De Silva.
De Silva will be the runner at first base. And I was going to say, we're probably going to see him steal, or at least try to steal second base. He runs very well. Line shot right to the shortstop. Lara hit that right on the nose. And Travis makes a nice play. Defensively, Maplewood's made some very nice plays. And there goes De Silva. It's a foul ball. I don't know if he squared the bunt to try and protect the runner. He wound up hitting the ball. And De Silva has to go back. Galvin has walked and scored and struck out. And he takes off again and is fouled off again. So it looks like we're going to beat the Raindrops. Unless Maplewood has a big seventh inning and ties this thing up. And then for the third time, De Silva's going, and he gets stopped again because it's a strikeout.
After 6, score is Lynn 4.
So this semifinal 15-year-old Babe Ruth tournament has come down to the 7th inning. Maplewood needs 3 to stay alive. It's 4-1 Lynn over Maplewood as Lynn is trying to move on to the final. And they're 3 outs away from doing just that. 4-1 Lynn over Maplewood at the end of 6. Bottom three in the order for Maplewood, 8, 9, and 10. Furtado, the right fielder, has been on twice, a walk and a hit.
Now batting.
Hit foul toward the Lynn dugout.
Now batting for Maplewood, number 7, Jacob Furtado.
Jacob Furtado was the right fielder. And the next hitter, Martins, he's been on base twice as well, a single and a walk. Hit to short. Figueroa with the play. They get Furtado for the first time. Furtado had walked and singled. Martins was just the opposite. He singled and walked.
Maplewood, number 8, Caden Martin.
So Caden Martins, the center fielder, is the hitter. Hit to the dugout. They call catcher's interference. So it's an error on the catch. That used to be a base hit, and they changed it because they said it would be a very tough time if they
Maplewood, number 23,
called it a base hit, and that was the only hit of the game. Because it's really not a hit. But Martins is on for the third time, reaching on the error. Doney had retired 8 out of 9. Hit foul. Aiden Gray, fly to right, pop to third. Pickoff back at first is Martins. They turn the double play. Great in the middle by
Final score from Lynn.
Driscoll.
4, Maplewood 1. Lynn will move on to the state championship game on Saturday at 3 o'clock at Adamsfield and Quincy.
Doney comes in and gets it done. He comes in with the bases loaded, gets the third out,
Great rest series.
gives up a single. The error is wiped out. So he retired 9 out of 10 when you count the double play. Second double play for Driscoll. Great turn in the middle by Driscoll. Figueroa got to him quickly. Nip at second. They turn the double play 6-4-3, and Lynn picks up their 6th consecutive win. They go 6-0. They go to the state final, which I believe will be Saturday in Quincy. Unfortunately, we will not be there. So the starting pitcher, Chris Marks, went 3 2/3 innings, gave up 1 run, 3 hits, walked 3, hit 2, had 1 strikeout. Doney comes in, pitches 3 1/3 innings, gives up a hit, struck out 3, didn't give up a run, retired 9 out of 10, and got it done for Lynn as he finishes up very strong. All coming big 2-out hits. Maplewood got on the board first. Espinal drew a walk, stole second. stole third. When he stole third, they threw the ball down. They threw it into left field. He scored the run to make it 1-0. Lynn got it back in the bottom. Sullivan drew a leadoff walk. Went to second on a base hit by Cummings. After 2 outs, the pitcher, Chris Marks, lined a double into left field. Both runners scored to make it 2-1, and that virtually was the winning runs because that the only run Maplewood got was in the first inning. In the second inning, 2-out Lightning again. After 2 outs, another big walk to Galva. Driscoll kept it alive with a base hit. They stole second and third, and they scored on the base hit, the 2-out hit by Seth Sullivan. That made it 4-1, and that was all that Marks and Doney needed on the mound to get them through this semifinal game and get them to the final. Lynn threatened again in the third, first and third. They threatened again in the fourth, second and third. They threatened again in the fifth with second and third. They got a base runner in the sixth. Maplewood had 2-1 in the second after 2 outs. They had a runner at third in the third with 2 outs. They had the bases loaded, and that was after a hit batsman got doubled on a double play. The first of 2 double plays involving Jaden Driscoll at second base. That double play, and then they got 3 on after that. Doney came in then, shut the door with the pop-up, and then shut the door the rest of the way, giving up the single in the sixth. And they ended with an exclamation point, a 6-4-3 double play, ending the game and ending this a very terrific season for Maplewood. They finish up 4-2, losing in the semifinals. Lynn picks up their 6th win. They go to the finals. For Maplewood, Espinal scored the run. Travis had a base hit. Travers had a base hit. Travis had a base hit. Furtado was on twice, a walk and a single. Martin was on 3 times, a single, a walk, and an error. For Lynn, Sullivan had a walk and scored a run. He got a big 2-out single, knocking in 2. Cummings had a big night, single, double, single, scored a run. Matt Lewis had a walk and a single. Chris Marks got the first of 2 big out hits, a double, knocking in the first 2 runs. Rich, the pinch hit for Avery, Shane Newhall, had a base hit. Figueroa and Lara reached on errors. Figueroa played very well at shortstop. Lara made a big play in left field. Galva had a walk and scored a run. Driscoll had a base hit, scored a run. Lined out, would have had 2 RBI, and Lynn would have had 2 more runs. But the left fielder, Travis, made an outstanding catch in left field to take it away. But Driscoll played outstanding at second base, turning 2 double plays. And Avery had 6 or 7 assists or putouts at first base, playing extremely well. So the defense played very well for Lynn. They got 2 in the first, 2 in the second, both coming on 2-out hits, a double by Marks in the first inning, a single by Sullivan in the second inning, amounting to 4 runs, and that was it as they win it 4-1 over Maplewood. They stay alive in the tournament. They move on to the state final. So congratulations to Leland Elwell and Rich Avery and the Lynn 15-year-olds. We wish them luck in Quincy on Saturday. And we hope it's getting tough. It's tough to say good night for a long time now. We won't be back until September. And I thank my outstanding crew, most of which are not with me. I'm going to lose everybody now. An outstanding crew have been with me all winter, spring, and now into the summer. I'm going to miss these. A couple are off to college. One is off to the Marines. They've been outstanding. They've made me look very good here. And it looks like now, with no, I believe they said there's no Lynn Little League City tournament. We'll check that to make sure. But without that, there'll be nothing now until football in September. So I'm going to be climbing walls until then. But it's been a great trip all the way through with these young guys from Classical, making me look very, very good. They become part of my family. I love them dearly. So 4-1, Lynn wins it over Maplewood, on to the state final in the 15-year-old bracket. Congratulations to them. We wish them luck again. I'm John Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.